Hi everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are going to be making a Christmas Santa Claus dog sweater. It's going to be size extra small and we're working from the bottom up. We'll be starting that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are working on an extra small dog sweater. So you're going to need a size 5 crochet hook. You're going to need, oh whoops, I showed that to you upside down. Size 5 crochet hook, pair of scissors, darning needle. You're going to need some white. I kind of have a big ball of white, so you're going to need red. You're going to need gray, and you're also going to need black. I didn't grab my black wool, but we'll get that later. So, we're going to start with white. We are going to be chaining 40. So, we are going to cross over our yarn. And then I bring the back yarn up around the crochet hook and I pull through, and that's my first chain. We're going to do 40. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, without twisting our chain, we're going to go back to that very first stitch and we are going to do a slip stitch. We're going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do half double crochets all the way around. So yarn over into the stitch, grab your yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. We're going to do 40 of these. And for the first row or 2, I count. Okay. So do that all the way around. You should end up with 40 stitches, and we will come back and I'll show you how to join them. Okay, so I've got 40 here. So now what I do, just like if you've watched any of my other videos, okay, when I do my attach on the ends, I do 1 row that I attach into the second chain that we did of the chain up 2. Okay, and I just do a slip stitch. But next row, I'm going to go over 1 and go right into that stitch. And that's how I prevent my stitches from going sideways. And I don't know why they go sideways, but they just always do that for me. So now we're going to do another row of white. Okay, and then we're going to switch colors. So come back to me when you're done this row. You are not going to attach, you're not going to join it at the end of the row. We're going to join it with a different color, okay? So get to your 40 done, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okie dokie. So what you'll notice if you've watched any of my other dog sweater, extra small dog sweater tutorials, is that basically I'm doing the same pattern and I'm just adjusting it to do whatever I want to make. So I find that as a crafter, that's the best way that works for me. And if people don't like the design, then they're not going to like all the other dog sweaters. But if they do like the design, then Bob's your uncle. You can do anything you want with it. You can, you know, do color changes to make a different thing. You can do applique, or for this dog sweater, you're gonna do color changes as well as applique. You know, and they just turn out so darn cute. I mean, it's just unreal. So I quite enjoy this little sweater that we're making. I've made quite a few of them. They're quite popular. So if you're doing a craft sale or whatever, I have absolutely no problem if you want to take this pattern and make it and use it at craft sales in your local area. As most of you know, I do sell on Etsy. I would rather you didn't use it on Etsy because I already do, but yeah, it's a free pattern and everyone's going to do things differently, so whatever, right? Go ahead and use it if you're doing it for your local craft sales, but I'd rather you didn't use it to sell on Etsy. So once again, I'm just going to count. Ooh, there's a knot in my yarn. So here we go. I'm going to pull that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So now we're going to switch to red. So I'm going to grab my ball of red yarn. I'm going to take from the middle. Now, what we did last time is we went into the second chain. So this time we are going to go into that very first stitch instead. We're going to do a slip stitch and we're going to chain up 2 with our new color, okay? Now we're going to go around and we're going to do our half double crochets. We're going to do 4 rows of red, okay? So we did 2 rows of white. Oh, and speaking of which, we can cut the white. So I'm going to cut the white and I'm going to tie a knot with the red. There we go. Leave that behind. And we're going to do 4 rows of red. So for your next joining, you're going to go into the chain 2. And then, so it should always go 2 stitch, 2 stitch, 2 stitch, 2 stitch. So, yeah. So do 4 rows of red. When you're on your 4th row, we're going to switch to black. And so we're not going to connect with the red. We're not going to do our slip stitch with the red, okay? We're going to do it just like we did with the red for the white. We're going to do the black for the red. I hope that makes sense. So do 4 rows and then come back. Okay. Okay, so I'm at the part now where we're going to do our black. So if you've been following the thing for going up on your rows, it's been chain stitch, chain stitch, chain stitch. So we should go into the stitch. We're going to take our black and we're going to use it to do a slip stitch, and we're going to chain up 2. And then we're going to do 2 rows of black. Okay. So we're going to do 2 rows of black, and then once again we're going to switch to our red and we'll do 4 more rows of red. So do your 2 rows of black using your red like I've showed you, because then see, we don't get much of a difference once that's pulled tight. You see, you can't even see where we've changed. It looks like it's just continued on perfectly. So once you're done the black, switch to the red with the join, and then do 4 rows of red, and then meet back with me. Okay. One more thing. Do not cut the red. Because we're only doing the 2 rows of black, we can just join it up along the back. So that way you'll have fewer threads to sew in later. If you want to cut the red, you can. It's just I hate hiding threads, so I try and do as few as possible. So I'm going to leave my red just at the back there, and I'll bring it up along the black rows so that I can just join it still attached and not have to hide those threads. I hate with a capital H hiding threads. So okay, I just wanted to get to there. So 2 rows black, 4 rows red. Okay, so I am at the joining, and we have not cut our red yarn. So I'm just going to show you how I do this. Okay, so I'm going into the stitch on this round to do my... Now bringing this up along the back very gently. I'm not pulling it too tight. We're going to do our chain 2, and then we're going to do our 4 rows of half double crochet. At the back, you can cut your black. We're not going to need the black for a bit now. And there you go. You do your 4 rows of, geez, what have I done? Do your 4 rows of red, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing the back and the arms, and then we do the neck. But see, can you get what we're getting at so far? Looking cute. Okay, come back when you're done the 4 rows. And yeah. Okay, so I am done my 4 more rows of red, and I'm just doing my slip stitch. Okay, now we are going to chain up 2, 1, 2. Now we are going to work 20 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. We're going to chain up 2. Now we're working back and forth on these 20 stitches for a total of 6 rows. So we've done 1 row, we're working on our 2nd row, okay? This is all done with half double crochet, and you're doing it for 6 rows, okay? So do that and then meet me back. Okay, so I've done my 6 rows, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our yarn. Okay, so very gently, I want you to pull your tail through that loop, and I want you to just bring it to like that. Do not pull it tight, because we have to undo that knot later. That's just to prevent it from fraying, okay? We are going to go back, and we're going to do the other 20 stitches. Okay, so we're going to join our red. We're going to chain up 2, and then we're going to do half double. Now I'm bringing my tail, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of bringing my tail along the back for just a couple of stitches to anchor it, and then I'll hide it afterwards with the rest of the length. Okay, so I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so now we're going to start decreasing at each end of every row, and that's going to make the little armholes, okay? So we're going to chain up 2. 1, 2. We're going to turn our work. Now, yarn over in the first stitch, grab your yarn, pull through. Yarn over through the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through. We have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do yarn over and go through all 5. Even though we work 2 stitches, this only counts as 1 stitch. So 1, 2, and this row will be 18. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now we're going to do our 18th stitch. So we go yarn over into the stitch, pull our yarn through. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull the yarn through. We have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, go through all 5, and that was our 18th stitch. Chain up 2, 1, 2. We're going to decrease right away. Yarn over into the first stitch, pull through. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull through. 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull through and go through all 5 loops. Even though we've gone through 2 stitches, it only counted as 1 stitch. Okay, so this is going to be a 16 row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now we're going to do our 16th stitch, which means we're doing 2 stitches into 1. So yarn over into that first stitch, pull your yarn through. Yarn over again into the next stitch, pull your yarn through. We have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, go through all 5. That was our 16th stitch. Now we're going to bring this down to 10. Okay? So that was our 16. This will be a 14 row, and then a 12, and then a 10. So meet me back up when you've got down to 10 stitches in the row. Okay, so I just did my row 10. I just finished my last stitch. Now we are going to take this and we are going to connect to the chain 2 on the other side, and that will make our little leg hole, okay? So there we go. Okay, I'm just going to leave that long. Now we're going to go back to that knot that we did. We're going to pull it apart, And we're going to do the same thing. Go into that chain 2 on the other side. And we're going to slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to make that a nice firm knot. And we're going to put the thing inside. So now going back to our loop. Okay, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do 1 row all the way around, and we should have 30 stitches, and we're doing half double crochets, and we're doing it in red. So 1, 2, well, we're going to do 30, but don't join it when you get to the other side, because guess what? We're switching to white, and you know how to do that. Then we'll do 2 rows of white, okay? So we're doing 1 row of red. We're using our white to join. And we'll just join at our chain. We'll start with the chain 2, and then the next one we'll do the stitch, and then we'll do the chain 2. So don't be like me here who's not counting, because as soon as I go off camera, you know what I got to do is I got to go back and count because I lost track. But there should be 30 stitches, right? Because we did a row of 10. And then before that, we were doing 20. So there should be 30 stitches. Okay, so after you're done the row of red for the neck, then you're going to do 2 rows of white. And then you will fasten off. I'll come back to do a fasten off with you just in case you're not sure how. But if you're confident with fastening off, then fly at her. Then we'll hide our threads, we'll do our buckle, and this little Santa jacket will be done. So just 1 sec. Okay, so I've done my 30th stitch. I'm going to attach in the chain 2. Okay, I'm going to pull my loop long. I'm going to cut my white. I also am going to cut my red. White tail can go through the loop. And then we're pulling it tight, and that's how I fasten off. Now we need to hide all the threads. So I don't know if you've seen in my other videos, but I have what I call my knitting and crocheting go bag. That's where I keep my darning needle. I do have a video on what's all in there if you want to look on my channel further. Don't forget, if you haven't done it at this point, to like and subscribe. And if you want notifications of when I do new videos, hit the little bell. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom. Now, when I hide my threads, this is how I do it. I go through some stitches, okay, and I'm only going through one side. I'm not going out through the front. Then I go back about halfway, and then I go through a few more stitches in front. And this is what is called back stitching. And if you do this enough, I usually do it for as long as my tail, it will never come undone and you won't have to do knots. I've not had any that I've done this way come undone. So there we go. And then snip away. Now this one I did do a knot, so I still do the same technique though. I go through a few stitches. That one had a knot in it. It was a flaw in the yarn. Then I go back, I go through some more stitches, and then I go back and I go through some more stitches. Okay, then I snip, and I just do this for every color. So we're coming up to, let me just get rid of this one. We're coming up to where I brought the red along the back. And I'm going to show you what I do when I hide those black threads that are underneath the red. Let me just do this one. Okay, give that one a snip. Okay, so we have our black here. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I would hate for any little puppy to get his little toe caught in that. So what I do is I take my black and I'm just going to whip stitch over where I brought it up, the red along the back. And I'm up to this other black. I'm just going to tie those in a knot. And then I'm going to do my regular hiding where I do back stitching. This is a technique I learned actually with cross stitch. I used to do a lot of cross stitch. And this is how you did your threads in the back of your cross stitch so you didn't get ugly bumps. And it worked for that, and it works for this. Okay, and you can go the other way. You can go in a circle, whatever floats your boat. And you don't want it, you want to keep it nice and flat, so you don't want to pull too tight so that it puckers. That would be no good. And as you crochet more and more, you'll just know. I know that's the worst explanation ever, but it's true. You'll just know. My grandmother taught me how to crochet, and that was how she did everything. You just know. Like, my grandmother never ever would crochet with a pattern. We'd look at a picture of something and we'd figure it out. Trial and error. That's how I kind of did this dog sweater, as I had tried. I can read patterns, so I had tried a few different patterns, and I like this aspect of this pattern and that aspect of that pattern. And I just put them all together and made my own pattern, because that's what I do. I do the same thing with cooking. If you watch any of my cooking videos, I can never make the same thing twice. Well, I can now that I made the video, but I couldn't before because I never use the same ingredients. If it calls for this and I have none of this, I use that. You know what I mean? Because that's just the way we've always done it around my house. You improvise. You figure it out. See? And we're talking, and we already have almost all our threads hidden because I try and leave as few threads as possible to hide. I hate hiding threads because my fingers get sore and wham, you know. Oh, and I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, I did mention it, but I'm mentioning it again. Because that's how we grow our channels, is by people liking and subscribing. If you want me to keep making videos, it does get a little bit difficult to be enthusiastic to make videos when no one is liking or subscribing or commenting. So you keep doing your part, I'll keep doing my part. And believe it or not, I do not only make dog sweaters and chair socks. I do know other things. It's just, this is what I seem to have been making a lot of. These are the orders I've been getting. I have an Etsy store, which I will put a link in the description. But I have an Etsy store, and these are the orders I keep getting. Between this and my full-time job, I have time only to make what's being ordered. Pretty much. So, okay. So, have I got them all? I got them all. So this is my knitting crochet bag. Go bag. Look it up. It's got all kinds of interesting things in there. Okay, so now we've got the basis of our dog sweater. Okay, so see, here's our little Santa Claus dog sweater. Now what we're going to need is we're going to need our black and we're going to need our gray. So we are going to make the little buckle, okay? So when I was figuring this out, I thought to myself, what would make a cute little buckle? What could I do? And I love making granny squares. I have so many granny squares. I make them and then don't do anything with them. Sometimes I make a blanket. Sometimes I just make the square and then do something else with it. So anyway, I thought granny square. So to do granny square that I do, I cross over my yarn, bring the back yarn, pull through. That's my first chain, second chain. So we are gonna want to chain 3. Okay, now you see how my tail is? I want to kind of catch my tail, and I'm gonna do a double crochet in that first stitch. Okay, so my chain 3 is my first double crochet, then I do another double crochet. Now in the same stitch I'm doing a third double crochet, then I'm going to chain 1, then I'm going to do 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, in the same spot I'm doing 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay. Then I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to work it into the top stitch, the top chain of that chain 3. Okay. So there we go. We've got the center of a granny square. Okay. Now is that big enough? Yeah. Now I am going to fasten off, snip, fasten off. There we go. Okay. And see, I can pull this tail from the center and make my center so that it's like non-existent. Okay. Then I'm gonna grab my silver and I'm gonna chain 2 in a corner space. I'm gonna go, so chain 2. So we're doing half double crochets, okay? So catching my tail at the back, going into that same corner space, I am going to do a half double crochet and another one. So 3 half double crochets. Now I'm going to shimmy those stitches over and I'm going to go into the very first stitch with the half double crochet and then another one, and then that should be the third stitch. We're going to do 3, 1, 2, 3 in that corner space. We're going to chain 1. We're going to shimmy those over. We're going to do 3 more in that same corner space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to shimmy those over because we need to get to that first stitch. So 1, and then our second, and then our third. Okay. Then we're going to do 3 in the next corner space. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 3 more in that corner space. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to shimmy those over so we can get to that first stitch. So 1. Now we need the little doodad that you use to do up a belt buckle, right? The little prongy thing. So we're going to do a triple crochet. So yarn over your hook once, yarn over your hook twice. We're going to go around the post of the double crochet. Oops. Go through 2, go through 2, and then go through 2. Okay? Then we are going to do another half double crochet. So you see how it's longer there? We've got the longer stitch. You can see it better after. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 in the corner, half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 1 chain, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to shimmy those over. Now this is where my thread is, so that's going to be a little bit tough. But we're going to go 1, oops, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet in that corner, or single or half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 and attach to that chain 2. Okay. Now, leaving a nice long tail. Pretty long. So let's see. We'll say 12 inches. Leave a foot. We're going to pull that tight. And see, that is our belt buckle. So now we're going to go in the back. We're going to grab our go bag so we can get our darning needle. We are going to take the black we're going to, just going through the back stitches, we're going to bring it to the middle. Okay. Then we are going to tie a knot with that center yarn. And then we're just going to finish hiding the yarn. Going with our back stitches again. And if your center hole, if you didn't quite do the yarn right and it's not pulling tight, just use these black tails to just sew it tight. Know what I mean? Okay. And then we'll do the same with this black one. It's very hard to see the black, I know, on camera. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll get rid of that gray. And this, remember, just do the back stitching. But just going through the front, or the stitches. Don't go all the way to the front. You want to just go through the stitches you can see. And then that can get trimmed. Now you should have your very long tail. Okay. So we want our buckle towards the center. So if you want, you can pin it. I'm gonna pin it. Okay. So first we want to make sure that this is folded center. There is our buckle. And there we Now, using your really long tail that you left, we are just going to attach it, okay? So, you want to keep it nice. So we're going into some of the red and we're going out through the gray. Okay? And don't pull too tight. You want it to lay nice and flat. And we're just going to do this all along those stitches. So you are going through the stitches like you do for your back stitching, and you're going through the front, the gray, as if you were to crochet it. You're going through like the two pieces of the V or the heart or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I hope you can see this. So see, and this is just our applique. We're just going to attach this all the way around. Just keep going. You know what? It's handmade too, so if it's not perfect, that's okay. What I try and do is I try and line it up with a row. So as long as I'm staying within that row, I know that it's staying fairly straight. Sorry, I think I went off camera there. I'm trying a new camera angle, so I'm trying to get used to how it works. Someone commented that they couldn't see anything I was doing, so I'm trying to get better with that. But I'm hoping that I can talk you through enough of it that you can do it through what I've said to do as well as the visual. But I'm a visual learner, so I know what that's like. So we're just going all the way around. Do the best you can. There we go. And now to the top. And again, I try and line it up with a row. So if I'm sticking to that row, then I know it's fairly straight. Oh, and I'm looking down, and when you know it, every time I look down for too long, my nose starts to run. What is that anyway? I guess it's gravity, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take out my pin. Don't forget that, because you don't want to poke puppy. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the gray yarn into the back. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab a stitch within the gray, and you'll see what I mean at the back. And I'm just going to go through my loop twice and pull tight. You don't want to pull too tight because you don't want it to pucker. And again, the reason I warn you of this is because I have done it. Okay. And then we'll just give that a couple of back stitches. Give it a snip. Put our stuff away so we can find it for next time. And there is our little Santa jacket. So, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, and if you want to get notifications of when there's a new video, hit the bell. Talk to you later. Bye now.